This is Daily Flash with Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Broadcasting worldwide and streaming. Daily Flash. Today's talk, tomorrow's trends.
Well, hi, everybody. I'm Andrea Jackson.
Hello, I'm Mitch English,
Yes.
and all around us is surrounded by Daily Flash. We got today's talk, tomorrow's trends.
You are a huge part of our show, and without you, we are nothing. We really are nothing.
We are nothing.
We are nothing, and our social media guru, James Alexander.
Yes, tell us now.
Those 219 stations keep me busy.
Yes.
That's across the country. The American Forces Network social media channels is where you can find us. If you want to know where we are in your neck of the woods, go to dailyflashshow.com. Click on where to watch. And if you want to sound out, sound off, or any of the questions of the day, just click at the top. Say, hey, James, yes, you look good in that yellow and the green. Mexican Mafia. All right. I say all this because we got to get to our question of the day. Are you ready?
No, I'm not sure. We took a complete left turn there. Okay.
If you could instantly solve one everyday problem, what would it be?
Okay, I have many of the. I have one right now I can actually solve.
Okay.
Can we take cam 4 real quick, Keegan? Because it drove me crazy since top of the show.
What happened?
I want to fix that.
Oh, why you didn't say anything?
I was saving it because I want to fix something. How about this? How about one password for everything that nobody else can figure out? I know.
Hallelujah.
If I can remember like a crazy train of characters but I know for the rest of my life that that's what it'll be.
Right.
Then I'm okay with that.
You can, if you just look at it, write a sentence.
Like the first letter of every.
You can write a sentence.
I have something that I do that for, but I forgot what website I use the password for. Solving missing Tupperware lids in a sock.
Socks.
Okay, that's a good one. Yeah.
And if I could solve Trader Joe's parking lot.
That's done on purpose. To make him seem busy.
I think you're right. That would be the problem that I would want to fix.
I cannot shop there I can't do it.
I'm starting to get that way as well.
I can't do it. I mean, it causes me so much anxiety.
You don't know if the one I'm serving is the same way we go to. It's just, first off, just to get into it, the traffic, there's always a wreck there or something like that, and there's too many businesses in there.
Yes.
I can't believe the fire code. How that does it, how do you get out of that place?
And there's a Shake Shack there, which it's wonderful, but you have to deal with trying to get into that parking lot, and
it's crazy.
I think there's even a 24-hour emergency care
It is.
there,
There
and
is.
Late night cookie place.
and there used to be an Orange Theory.
There was.
Jim,
Right.
maybe if it's still there. But I kid you not when I tell you the parking lot is as big as his desk.
Man,
For 15 businesses.
I'm telling you. And I've also noticed the spaces are smaller than normal.
Yes.
Too.
Oh my gosh, they're so narrow.
No big trucks. No big
That's how I would fix the world. Do you have anything, Jackson?
I can't think of anything off the top of my head. I'm normally usually pretty good about stuff like that. There's usually, I would demand people return their shopping carts.
Okay.
I would.
Okay, I get you on that one.
I would not
Okay.
allow you to get into your car unless your shopping cart has been returned to the return cart section.
Oh, wow.
I saw somebody, they were in a handicap place and they left theirs there. And I'm like, okay, I get it. It's one of those handicaps where it was hard for a while. And I get that.
Yeah.
But now, that's what they tell you. They can't get out of their car at all if you can leave your parking, your thing. And if, by the way, if anybody ever sees me and you don't feel like, just holler, but I will walk across a parking lot and grab yours and take it back.
Yes.
I'm just with Jackson. I cannot stand it.
Can't stand it.
Oh, wow.
I thought of one more thing.
Yeah.
You know how much this irritates me. It's probably one of my top pet peeves. It's the auto off button in my car. I hate that so much.
The eco
it's
thing?
the dumbest thing in the world. Yes, they did, finally. They've made a new rule where you don't have to mandate that stupid frickin' button in your car anymore.
No.
Pardon me, I did say frick. I didn't.
Somebody is making money off that because the
Millions.
government got rid of it really quick. Like, this is actually, you're spoiling gas, you're messing up your engine by cranking
It's
it
so
up.
dumb to me. Like, you're sitting at a intersection and you think your engine's died, and then you remember, it's this dumb auto off button, and I have to turn it off in order to deactivate it. It should just be deactivated unless I want it turned on.
Right. You should have the option.
I can't tell you how much that
My rental car that I get in, I know exactly what you're saying.
drives
You're
me
right.
nuts. Yeah.
So if this is a big pet peeve of mine,
Okay.
it's because I come from Detroit, the auto industry. Ford, if we build it, they'll buy it. I hate going online, looking at cars, and they charge you for every little option. So if I could say, if I could solve that, just give me the car, give me a package, and let's go.
Yes.
They charge you for every little thing.
Is even like the newer, like Tesla, are they doing that? Because I know Tesla's like, there's no, you just go and you buy the car, but you can upgrade it. But that's all done with software now, right?
But no, you can change it. So if you go online, you build the car, you can change it, you can add little things, and it's like, dude, just make the car,
Just give
make
me
it
one
all
model
nice.
with everything in it.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's it.
I like
Nickel
that.
and dime you.
Yeah,
That's it.
I like that. Warehouse giant Costco might be changing their very flexible return policy. Have you guys heard about
The
this?
returning cart policy?
But I think they should change that too. For years, Costco has offered 100% satisfaction guaranteed on its website. Members can return any item, anytime, receipt, no receipt. However, as you can imagine, many people have taken advantage of the policy. One woman recently returned her 2.5-year-old Costco couch without a receipt. Other oddball returns. One person returned a book because they didn't like the ending.
No way.
7 years.
No.
7 years after she bought it.
Oh my God.
A mattress was also returned 7 years after it was purchased.
Oh, wow.
Someone even returned a used toilet. Another customer brought back a plant they killed. Others bring back Christmas trees after Christmas.
Well.
Former employees said they accepted a pile of wood a customer claimed to be a playground set. Electronics, jewelry, other high-end products now have certain time limits and rules. Now, reports of Costco changing their return policy have not been officially verified. Some believe the company considers the loss a marketing expense. What do you guys think about this? Return anything, no questions asked.
It's hilarious. I think it's hey, you can't be mad at people for using the rules. They're playing within the rules. You allow it to happen, it's going to happen. And guess what? We're talking about it. So the marketing is working.
Sears, are they still around? Sears?
I thought they were gone.
Okay. Well, when I was a missionary, the guys with white shirt and ties, they walk around. I bought some shoes, and when I bought them, they said, if the sole wears out, you can come back and get another pair. That's what we get.
Really?
Now, I walked literally everywhere. I rode a bike everywhere.
Right.
I went through 3 pairs of shoes in 1 year. And every time they I felt bad taking back, but they had that guarantee saying if the sole wore out, then you could do it. And I got free shoes for, I wouldn't say free shoes.
They're saying that the same thing you do with Nike if you return the shoes.
Oh, they will?
With Nike or Adidas, if you return the shoes, they'll give you another pair because they're worn out. I'll look that up.
Look that up while we're
I'll look that up.
I mean, that sort of thing, okay, I don't feel like, and at the time I wasn't taking advantage of it. I wasn't making any money at all.
But the policy
was there.
And that's fair.
They were saying, we guarantee the shoes. And so that was the only time I feel like I've taken advantage of it. But I think that's why they're changing the rules. Because somebody returning a book because they didn't like the way they ended. To me, that's nothing wrong with the product. That's you. That's all interpretation, right?
Yes.
And I guess that's how they think about it. Or then you can say that anything. Well, this didn't work the way that I wanted it to. And it is. And that's what and you go, well, hey, let's take advantage. Well, that's what costs us, everybody else, because you're sending those back. And then what does it say about you as well?
As a person, and how do you feel okay like walking back into Costco with the Christmas tree you bought 2 months ago and saying, I just changed my mind?
It's smart.
People would say it's smart because
some
you're
people would. I think
it's a gift that keeps on giving.
I think you're taking advantage of the system, and that's the reason why that Christmas tree is going to cost me twice as much next year.
And imagine if they didn't have memberships at Costco.
Oh, it'd be off the chain. Everything would be turned.
There's something with being a member of something.
I will say my other half, Alan, always says, well, if you don't like it, take it back. I'm like, I'm not returning this. We've already used it. Yeah.
Okay, so
he loves the return policy.
I appreciate. Did you find some facts?
I found some stuff. So I was wrong about Nike, but Crocs, their program is Old Crocs, New Life. New Balance, they will take trade-ins of gently worn New Balance shoes.
Oh, gently worn.
I haven't heard of this company, Ace Marks. You ever heard of them before?
Ace Marks, no.
They have a buyback program, Rothy's.
Nope.
They'll take the shoe back for a discount. Allbirds.
Here's
Allbirds, I've heard of Allbirds.
Would you want to let people know that you've bought Crocs?
There's nothing wrong with Crocs.
Oh, the worst. No, you're right. You should be fined for wearing Crocs. You should be ticketed. Yeah. I should get my 5 minutes back if I have to deal with you in Crocs.
I think people
I'm
now,
kidding.
Amazon is going to go that way too, because I know people are taking, and it's so easy to return. It's just a pain in the butt.
I have noticed that Amazon is getting stricter with their return policies because they're asking you a few more questions when you want to return something.
And where you're going to return it?
Yeah, and is it still in the original packaging? Has it been like they're really kind of trying to filter things out?
I appreciate it where it's like, all right, I'm not going to use this. Did you open it? Yeah, just take it to them, and they'll put it in its own bag.
Yeah.
Your thoughts, we want to hear about this. You know our website, flash@dailyflashshow.com. We got an expert coming in here. You ever feel stuck after getting all this advice, especially like people from us, like us?
Yeah.
How about from other experts? Well, he's got a book out called Outrageous Peace and How You Can Find It.
Our brain flash question of the day, here it is. What was the original name of Google?
Hey, welcome back to the big show. All right, before we went to break, we asked you our brain flash question of the day. What was the original name of Google? Hopefully you didn't Google the answer. That would be kind of meta, wouldn't it? And a lot of people are freaked out when they find out it used to be called Backrub. And basically, when they were at Stanford University, it related to all the backlinks that it took to get to your information on Google. There you go. It was changed in I think in the late 90s. 97 is when they changed it to Google. Well, welcome back to the big show. Mitch English here. In an effort for us to live a peaceful life, most people are doing, if you think about it, everything right. We're working on our attitude, our daily habits. We're doing the inner work. But peace keeps just slipping away. So what are we doing wrong? Well, our next guest, Beatty Carmichael, has a new book out. Here it is. It's called Outrageous Peace. He joins us now with some insight so that we can find some of that peace. Beatty, welcome to Daily Flash. Thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you, Mitch. I'm excited about being here.
Well, I'm glad you are, because this is something that a lot of people, you're like, man, I just don't understand it. Why can't I get out of this funk? Why can't I get this peace? Why do people still, after they do all of the things that they maybe might have done in a book or everything other friends tell us, they're still looking for that peace by following that self-help advice? Why is that?
Well, I think what I find a lot of times is people don't really understand what causes peace and therefore why it disappears and slips away. And once you start to recognize the framework in which peace operates, then it solves all the problems. We're trying to solve it. So peace is internal, and yet we're trying to solve it by external discipline.
Oh, yeah.
And you can't do external discipline to fix an internal problem.
All right. I should have asked first. What is peace? Give me your definition of what peace is, because if we don't know what we're looking for, we'll never find it, right?
Yeah, that's a great question. Peace is a lack of stress on the inside, okay? So you can have calm in your environment, but this underlying part of you that's inside, that's just, when you're at peace, you're rock solid. Nothing that comes against you is going to challenge you or push you around. And it's always just calm and peaceful. When your mind is running, you're always irritable. There's always some sort of tension, heaviness that you feel like you're carrying around, darkness.
Yeah.
That's a lack of peace. Is that making sense?
It actually does. No, I mean, because people need to identify what that is. I mean, that's a beautiful explanation. But in your book, you talk a little bit about the hidden source of internal pressure. Explain that in more detail.
Yeah, so the easiest way to understand this is if you think about our life as a three-legged stool. You have a mental, physical, and spiritual leg. Now, the spiritual is not a religious, it's just neither mental or physical. When all three legs are strong, internally, you're strong. But what happens with peace is when we get our inner self out of alignment. This is that spiritual part. If you think about like your conscience, it lets you know when you do right, lets you know when you do something wrong. When we get out of alignment there and we don't release that, it puts stress on the other two legs and things start to crumple in our life. Right? We start to feel it.
And you are talking about alignment. Let's go in more detail. Explain why alignment is such a key.
Yeah, it's the real key, because alignment is it's when we're holding on to something that we don't need to hold on to. Let me give you a real life example. A couple of months ago, an acquaintance came up to me and we were talking. He was saying, I'm just being eaten up with anxiety. I went to the doctor about 6 or 8 months ago. He said, you're going to have this the rest of your life. Let's put you on meds. And I said, well, anxiety is easy to get rid of. It's not permanent. I said, there's always a source. Usually, like anxiety, has a source of fear that we haven't released. So I was just asking him, so when did it begin? He said, about 1.5 years ago. I said, did anything happen about 1.5 years ago that really terrified you? He said, yeah. My wife had a breast exam. They found lumps. And I became terrified. So I said, well, that's the issue. You're holding on to the fear and you haven't released it. So I simply gave him a simple process to release the fear that he should never have held on to. And by the end of the day, his anxiety was totally gone.
And so with that example there about restoring alignment is basically, it sounds like identifying it, finding out why you're not feeling this and kind of going back. And do you change anything out of by doing those sort of things?
Yeah, so real simple process. This is what I use, and this is what my book starts to describe. There's a process in how we deal with our inner self. But the simple thing is you name it, locate it, release it. All he did is he named it. I've got anxiety. I helped him locate it. And then once you locate and go, oh, I just need to release it. You release it, and releasing it in very simple terms is just saying, I'm no longer going to hold on to this fear. I'm just going to let it go. Take a deep breath, breathe out.
I like that.
And you release.
I use the same principles for trying to find the perfect fishing hole. You know, name it, locate it, and then once I get the fish, release them. This is the first time I get to say this, but Beatty, peace. Thanks for joining us. And if you at home want to find out more information, this is great stuff.
Oh, great.
Beatty's book, it's called Outrageous Peace. You can go to outrageouspeace.com for more information. We'll have this on our website as well.
All right, Mitch, thank you. Well, the grandson of the creator of Reese's Peanut Butter Cups is going public with his criticism of the Hershey Company. 70-year-old Brad Reese claims Hershey has swapped out milk chocolate for a cheap compound made from vegetable oils. Oh. He also says Hershey has replaced real peanut butter with peanut butter flavored fillings and creams. The Hershey Company says its original peanut butter cups are still made with real peanut butter and milk chocolate. However, the candy maker admits to making a few recipe adjustments for certain products with new shapes and sizes.
I would imagine he probably lives off some stock. I don't know how many as far as decisions go or anything. I don't think he had anything to do with it. But his claims, I could understand where he would even think so, because it's a lot cheaper to go with the oils and that sort of thing and stay away from the original. And they've said even still, the foods that we ate as a kid are completely different, right? Tasting altogether. And it's not because we've gotten older, obviously, right?
True. But I do think that there is this new focus on ingredients and real ingredients. And I think everybody's kind of like waking up to the fact that we really need to think about what we're eating and how foods are processed. And if candy can go back to using real milk chocolate and real peanut butter, it'd be terrific.
When I go to Italy, I'll bring you back some, all right?
Please
I'm
do.
excited for that.
Yes.
We have more Flash coming up around the corner. Don't go anywhere. We love having you along. Everybody, welcome back to Daily Flash. Mitch English along with Andrea Jackson. There's a new digital scam out there that's going to have users thinking twice about CAPTCHA or CAPTCHA-like verifications. You know what I'm talking about. It's that stupid quiz you got to take before they let you see it. Next time it pops up on your screen, a Canadian Reddit user posted about a potential hack and shared a picture on her screen when it happened. The sequence asked her to hold the Windows key and the letter R to load a verification key. Then it said to press Control plus V before clicking enter to complete the verification test. Now, this isn't the only cyber scam infecting people's devices. Tech experts are warning users about a new calendar scam where cyber crooks blast iPhones and iPads with bogus scheduling alerts in order to hack into their personal info. I think I got one. But here's the thing. You're trying to schedule something with me. I don't know who you are. I ain't putting that in my calendar.
Yeah.
I do appreciate it. Like whenever we set up a Google Meet, it automatically goes in my phone. But somebody was trying to do something. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. And they are getting smarter and smarter and smarter.
That's true.
If in doubt, don't. If in doubt, like, what is this about? I got an email just the other day from somebody that I don't really talk to, a business person, and I wrote him back and I go, hey, I don't understand what this is. He goes, I've been hacked. Do not open it whatsoever. And he had sent it to Sharon, our boss, as well. And just to let you know, they are still out there. So best thing, if you don't know the person, or if you don't understand it, don't open it up and try to read it to find out what it is, because that might be too late.
So I got an email early this morning, and I was looking at my email, and it said, oh shoot, where did it go? It said something about hunger rush or something. He's like, you cannot ignore my emails. And this came through at like 1:05 in the morning. I'm like, what is this? And, I didn't open it, but I was just like, delete immediately. But then I've also noticed too, like sometimes have you ever got one of those texts that comes out of the blue and it just says, hey, how are you?
Yes.
I'm like, really? That's what you're trying to use now? Hey, how are you?
And just sends email. If you text me, I don't know who you are. I'm not texting you back.
Exactly. Yeah.
I should also make mention if you get a phone call from a number you don't know, don't answer it because it's a couple of things. They're seeing if that number is active, and now you're going to be on a list. Second thing is if you're sitting there talking, they could record your voice with AI.
That's what makes me so nervous. And also, like, well, can't they do that anyway if they get your message? You know, if you get their
That's
voicemail?
why I don't have one. Yeah, that's a good. You know, that's actually a good point. I didn't even think about that. Like, well, I mean,
Thanks for
I
calling.
call it
I'm
Siri.
sorry I'm not here right now.
I don't do that.
You don't do that.
They'll go, you called, or leave your message right after I don't know what it says. I never call myself.
I know. I haven't called myself in years.
So,
couldn't tell you what it says, but I know I had at one point I had a message on there.
if we haven't talked before and you send me a text,
Yeah.
I'm not writing you back. And if you call me and I don't answer, if it's that important, you'll text me, and then I won't answer that anyway because I don't know who.
And do you use the block and the spam function on your text and your phone calls?
I try to, but it doesn't seem like that. I feel like it's just it's supposed to be there to make me feel better, like to put somebody. Same goes with the email.
Yeah.
It's not going to stop it.
Right.
Yeah. It's very frustrating altogether, and it's dangerous now that we hear stuff like
Yeah,
this.
for sure. Well, outrage is brewing across Los Angeles as residents are told it will take 270 days, 270, for a street light, for one single street light to be repaired. LA is currently buried under a mountain of 33,000 pending repairs. This is Los Angeles.
You pay a lot of taxes in California, so they'll get to it.
It's crazy. The scale, yeah, right. The scale of the crisis was highlighted by a local reporter on X who shared an automated response from the city's 311 system. Some neighborhoods have been left in total darkness for nearly a year. The post on X has gone viral. City officials say theft and vandalism are driving a massive repair backlog. The theft epidemic is so severe that copper wire theft now accounts for nearly 40% of all outages. Thieves are stripping miles of cable faster than crews can replace it. The 311 message, we've got it. Let's see if we can pop it up on the screen. Thank you for reaching out. We see the case you submitted on 117. Due to an increase in wire theft and vandalism of the street lighting network, there is currently a backlog of repair tickets. The current response time for street light repair is up to 270 days.
I want to back up. All right, and correct this.
Yeah.
So in California, you go on X to talk to the
No,
Los Angeles?
The reporter posted the screenshot
see
of the
now.
response he got when he submitted the request to fix a street light in his neighborhood and was told it could take up to a year.
I say that because airlines do that. Airlines are wanting you to go on Twitter. It's like they'll say, if our lines are busy, it might be faster to send us a message on Twitter. Oh. Because and if you think about it, I'm like, I'm leaving a message on Twitter if this flight's canceled and you left me in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah, exactly. You better believe it.
I'm hashtagging you, and I am direct messaging you as well. Here's the. It's always going to be that way, and we learned last week. If you have to call them up, that's why you need a bilingual friend. Press 2 for Spanish. You'll probably get there faster.
That is so true.
Than pressing 1.
But this is embarrassing
That's
for
very
Los
embarrassing.
Angeles. And the taxes the people pay there, outrageous.
You can see why people are moving in droves.
Yeah.
Stick around. We have more coming up.
This is Daily Flash with Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Broadcasting worldwide and streaming. Daily Flash. Today's talk, tomorrow's trends.
Hello, everyone. I'm Mitch English.
Yes, he is. I'm Andrea Jackson. This is Daily Flash, today's trends, tomorrow's talk. But before we do a darn thing here, we got to check in with James Alexander. Who's watching us out there and where, James?
Yes, man. Those 219 stations across the country, the American Forces Network, all of our social media channels, and our website, dailyflashshow.com, where you can go and you can sound off and click on where to watch, so you can see where we are in the country. And today we want to talk about one of our special places. We are all connected to that place.
Oh, yes.
It's called Dayton, Ohio.
Oh,
Hey, good
Dayton.
WRCX-TV in Dayton, Ohio.
Dayton.
Hey, Dayton.
And Dayton, I looked it up and I was like, man, let me find some great facts about Dayton.
You got something.
It is the home of the first speeding ticket that was issued.
I did not know that.
1904, a
Mitch
motorist
English?
going a reckless 12 miles per hour. 1904.
Wow. I wonder if he fought it. I wonder if what excuse he had when he got pulled over.
I had to go pee.
Or if the copper had to give him the, the lecture. See here now, you have to slow down. See?
So you got some great stuff about Dayton too. Dayton is home to one of the most prestigious patent people, if I'm saying that correctly, I'm mispronouncing. So the people in Dayton have the most patents. In 1900, they had the most patents of any city.
Otis Elevator, I know, is a big one. And there's a couple others, a couple other major inventions from.
I know Huffy Bikes are there.
Huffy Bikes,
Really?
yeah.
We can go there. We all
Yeah.
lived there. We had on the Daily Buzz. We all were. Jackson and I were sent out there in the middle. Literally, the station was in the middle of a cornfield.
And it was right
James
there.
came a couple
I
months
visited
later.
at my hotel. There was in the middle was a hot tub.
And there was a Wendy's across the street and a church on
And
the
a
other
Perkins
corner.
down the
and
street.
a Perkins down the corner. Did you ever work with us in Dayton, or did you? Work
I
with
can't-
us?
I
You
got
came to
interviewed.
interview there, and
Yeah.
then
I remember.
I got interviewed, and then when we made the move
To Orlando.
I remember
And
the
Dayton
day
is
you
home
came
to
out.
the Wright brothers. I want to say that too.
Yeah.
That's a great one.
So, which is a big, I guess, between North Carolina and Ohio, because the birthplace of aviation, they needed to use Kitty Hawk because of the air and the winds and the dunes and stuff, so they had to go there. So North Carolina took, well, it's the birthplace of innovation, aviation, but if you think about it, when they had their bicycle shop, that's when they made the airplanes. All right,
That's
that's
true.
everything, maybe a little bit more than you care to know about Dayton, Ohio. If you ever need to know more, please let us know, because we
can
live
tell
there.
you.
We did our time there as well. Gen Z, they're not dating anymore, you know?
What?
They're saying, good, I want to hear your things on this. Some are saying they're just skipping it altogether. They're saying they're really trying to get out of romance, and dating is too expensive, too stressful, and too complicated. And you have your thoughts on this?
The trouble of dating right now, it's not worth the hassle. And
kinda
women don't
understand that.
Women don't want the let's go to a coffee shop and get to know each. They want $200, $300 dinners on the first date. I don't know you, lady. I'm
that's a
just
good
meeting
point.
you. Let's go out for a
fair.
quick drink
You really think
and
they
get to
do-
know each other.
Okay.
Are they meeting people maybe organically, maybe like people at work, people that, you think, friends? I mean, there's got to be a way. Dancing at the clubs?
They're going to passport bros. Take off, Colombia. Hey,
What's a passport, bro?
They're getting their women from other countries.
yes,
Oh,
yes.
men
It's
are getting their women
men are
from
now
other
leaving the
countries.
U.S. Modern American women are not
see.
worth
This
the money.
research would say otherwise, because they're saying they don't want to spend money on it. They'd rather spend the money on their future. They say dating turns into like an interview, a job interview, and
Well,
they're
that's
tired
part
of doing
of it,
that sort of thing. They're also prioritizing their careers, their friendships, and what I like to hear is their mental health as well.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times I growing up in the 80s, and everybody talks about the 80s. 80s was about the decade of excess. You bought too much.
Yeah.
Too much was never enough, right?
Right.
And I think just cyclically, they're like, you know what? Well, this is what we got the world because you did that. This is the outcome of that. Maybe we should change it. So I think, we give a hard time to the Generation Z, but I think that they are thinking differently than we are, and so we don't understand it.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose when it comes to dating, though, there are some sort of traditions that always are a standard. So I think getting to know someone, you got to ask them questions.
Yeah,
you can't
that's
just
true.
like.
Maybe
You
they
can't
do
get
it.
past that no matter what it is.
Yeah,
online.
exactly.
We got the Scene with Doreen. She's talking to Tom Johnston from the Doobie Brothers. That's coming up next. Plus, we're going to make you feel good with our Tell Me Something Good story. Singing Mailman coming up.
You're watching Daily Flash. Time now for The Scene with Doreen.
Today on The Scene with Doreen, you're going to listen to the music because I welcome Tom Johnston, founding member, frontman, and songwriter for the Doobie Brothers. They have a new album and a tour, and I can't wait to dig in. Check it out. "50 years. It's unbelievable because most people can't even get 50 seconds in the music industry. And here you are, almost over a half of a century. That's got to feel pretty surreal.
I hate to use this word because it sounds really like, not stupid, but kind of trite. But it was kind of organic. I'm going to use it. It just kept happening. And yeah, we all wanted to make it, but it wasn't top of mind. We just wanted to be able to pay our bills, basically. And, put gas in the Volkswagen, stuff like that. It was, but it was fun. At that particular time in this country, and where I was living, which was San Jose. That encompassed the whole Bay Area. And it was just a real great time to be there and play music. It was just kind of a constant party in a sense, but it was also constantly creative, and that was really cool.
Doobie Brothers, I was smoking doobies with my brothers.
So you're in college, sitting around, and you come up with the Doobie Brothers, and you really didn't like the name, I heard.
I mean, I still remember that day when that happened, and I have to say that we all said at that time, this is really stupid. We'll use it tonight, but we're going to get another name, and we just never did.
Yeah, maybe it sort of just kind of gelled, and look, it must have worked. I mean, it was memorable.
It did work, yeah. I mean, everybody knew who that was, and that's basically what a name is for. So.
Everybody talking now, sing it out loud.
The hit that really was never supposed to be, Long Train Runnin', off of your third album, The Captain and Me. You wrote that song, and you really didn't think much of it at the time, did you?
It's not that I didn't like the song. It's more or less, to me, it was a jam, because it literally was. We played that thing for at least 2 years before it ever got recorded, and we played it at tons of clubs. And it was just a great thing to do live, and it'd go on and on and on and on. We played for, 7, 8 minutes.
Yeah, it didn't have words, right?
It didn't.
It had no
and
lyrics.
I would make up the words every night. So Teddy said, "Why don't you write some lyrics to that?" And you think it'd be a really good song for the album. This was going into The Captain and Me. So I went and wrote the words in about 20 minutes there in the studio. Wrote the lyrics, came back in, we recorded them, and boom, there it was.
So the studio, even more specifically though, was it the bathroom, I heard, because you liked the tile?
Yeah, it was. As a matter of fact, if you were singing in the bathroom, you had this great echo chamber. You also had reverb because of all the tile. And so I sat in there with acoustic guitar and just blasted away.
Walk This Road. It's really a nice combination of everything that all of the iterations of the Doobie Brothers had to offer.
That's one of the reasons they show up at shows. They want to hear it all, but because we're able to give people all facets of the band, no matter front end, in the middle, and then also the later stuff, the most recent stuff. So the album was supposed to be, if you will, sort of like that. And I think we came pretty close.
And you're hitting the road in June for the Oneness Tour with Santana, and you're bringing your upbeat, fun music.
Being upbeat is a huge plus. I think this whole band, without meaning to, has always been about that. Just wanted to go out there and play and have a good time yourself. Hopefully that would, transmit to the crowd out in front of you. And it has.
Visit thedoobiebrothers.com. Get the new album, Walk This Road. Check out tour dates and just stay connected to everything that is the Doobie Brothers and the wonderful Tom Johnston. I'm Doreen Taylor with the Scene with Doreen here at the Daily Flash each week. See you next time.
KSA Entertainment is dedicated to uplifting the communities we serve. Through KSA Cares, we're bringing awareness to the causes that matter most, supporting those who work tirelessly to make a difference. From honoring veterans to championing environmental responsibility, KSA Cares is committed to inspiring positive change. At KSA Entertainment, we're here for the stories that bring us closer. Innovate with us. We can make a difference.
Welcome back to Daily Flash. Paralyzed Veterans of America is celebrating 80 years of impact for veterans with spinal cord injuries and diseases. Their new campaign, Power of PVA, spotlights service heroes like U.S. Marine Corps veteran and PVA member Jesse Lind, who joins us now.
Since 1946, PVA is the only veteran service organization dedicated to spinal cord injuries and diseases such as multiple sclerosis and ALS. Our size, our scope, our impact is really second to none. We're everywhere. We show up at your bedside. We advocate for you at Capitol Hill. We've advanced spinal cord research. We have pioneered adaptive sports. We've helped design accessible landmarks. And probably one of the biggest accomplishments of all is helping pass the Americans with Disabilities Act, which affects the entire disability community, not just our members. And they're not done yet. We just came out with a PSA. No paid actors, it's real veterans, real PVA members. I have a small role in it, so I might be a little bit biased, but they did a really good job with it. And it highlights, accessible housing, adaptive vehicles, meaningful employment, family, as well as adaptive sports. So pretty much everything that we hold near and dear. For more information, I'd suggest you go to pva.org/power.
Let's talk about some trending news stories out there. You might have noticed the word THerian popping up on your social feeds. It's spelled, it looks like Therion, T-H-E-R-I-N, but it's pronounced THerian. Anyway, Therians, apparently, they appear to be an identity out there. In dozens of videos, young adults are seen wearing tails and masks of animals as they recreate their actions in parks and in streets. Now, they say they share a deep connection with an animal that forms throughout their lives. People who identify as Therians know that they are not an animal, but identify with them on a spiritual level. And the reason that they say that is so they don't have to eat cat food, because if we treat them like what they are very specific on what they're going to do. And it comes out to, hey, look, I want attention. Am I right?
Yes.
Somebody stop me once I start saying untruths.
You're 100% right.
And you want to, okay, you're like that. I was this kid. Okay.
When you were 5.
Right.
Not when you're 25.
And, you know, if you did it as a joke, but there are people that live this lie. I have a friend who is a principal in school, and it's something that teachers have to deal with. And if they say, no, you're not a cat, that can be considered basically that they're discriminating against. And it's like, you know, I've never had a cat in my as one of my students. How am I supposed to treat them like that? And so just you think about stuff. And so when adults do it, like you said, that tells kids, you know, what is in the Bible? When I was a child, I did things a child did, but when I became a man, I did things men do.
Yes.
Why can't we do that? And quit walking around like an alligator. You're not, let me throw you in the water. You're not an alligator. You're not a wolf. You're not any of these things.
Can I tell you something? There's a holiday that's set aside once a year for folks who enjoy dressing up, and that's October 31st. And in most regions, Halloween is celebrated, and you can wear costumes and pretend to be whoever you want to be. But I'm sorry, do we have too much time on our hands? Not enough trouble, not enough struggle. If I'm a grown adult, why am I spending my spare time walking on the street dressed as a wolf, a dog, an alligator? These people clearly have too much time, too much money.
And you can see the people in the bus stop. They're not. They're done with this. No. Okay, imagine you're a boss and you have a small company. They're like, what?
It's
ridiculous.
Asinine. I'm sorry. I'll say it.
You're right. 100% right. Psychiatrists, psychologists. I'm sure people are going to be standing up for them, and maybe there might be an exception to the rule where people actually think that. I don't think that they. That's why they say, well, I know I'm in a human body, but I lean towards being a wolf or whatever, just to give you that out is what it is.
The problem is that we indulge this kind of behavior. And again, it's great if you want to go to a party and dress up or Halloween or whatever, but to live like this and expect everybody else to indulge you in your fantasy, I'm sorry, it's ridiculous. And when kids say, 3 years old, I'm a T-Rex, well, you're not going to go to the doctor and say he thinks he's a T-Rex, so we're probably going to need to change him into a dinosaur somehow physically. This is absolutely insane.
And employers, I was
going to leave that place.
I've started a business and I'm trying to get customers, and they're like, no, I'm not going. There's a dude that acts like he's an alligator, and why would I want to go?
Why?
You're making me, and I know there's people that are going to say, well, look, people are different, and I get that. But we don't have to accept it as like this is normal. We don't say this is normal behavior.
No,
I'm not going to say it.
I'm not going to say it either. And I'm not going to be pressured to feel like I have to say it's normal behavior just to kind of throw some virtual signaling out there, because it's not normal behavior.
If you go and do that and you're like, hey, he's being a jackass, he wants to do, okay, I have no issues. But don't go throughout your entire life or your work, and you have to have a walk around because you're a dog and you have to have a leash. Then if that's the case, I'm going to put you outside like I do my cat. I will. I promise you. If I had a job, I go, all right, you're a cat, you're going outside. DHS is going to come after me.
I guess my question is, like, where do you, and I'm blaming the internet, I'm blaming social media for this, but like clearly you've hooked up with a group of people who are like-minded, or do you get this idea by seeing other people doing it and think, oh, you know what, that's a great idea. I'm going to dress up like a tiger.
They do get that idea.
And wander around the streets.
Look, they're getting attention.
That is true.
Hey, well, they're getting attention. Because if you can tell them, if most cats I know do not like to be messed with, so if you're if you are identified as a cat, they don't like to be held. As a matter of fact, they like to go outside all the time. They also, I'm going to put you in a corner, and that's where you're going to crap, and that's where you're going to pee. Because if you're a cat, you're going to be a cat.
Right.
You're going to be the best damn cat.
You car. And like you said, you're going to feed him cat food. I just don't, and the crawling around on the city streets, that's disgusting. I mean,
I know there's people that are going to defend this,
Yes.
and you're allowed to have your opinion about
absolutely.
that, but don't expect me to say this is normal.
It's not.
I'm not. I'm putting the limit here.
It's not normal behavior. I am 100% with you, Mitch. I cannot argue with you. And then, let's say, are you dating? Like, are you single? And how do you bring this up in the conversation? Oh, by the way, this is what I like to do in my spare time.
I would imagine they find each other on websites that.
They have to, because
when
how
you're
could
in
you?
heat.
How can you date? Now, Jackass is a perfect costume for somebody that wants to indulge in this.
100%.
That makes total sense, because you are making a jackass out of yourself.
And how would you react if somebody, I don't even know, you're at the grocery store and the guy there is on his knees and he's trying to bag your groceries.
You're an idiot. I'm sorry. Grow up.
I would say, can I tell your boss? Because I'm not coming. I'm not doing this.
And that's what I feel like. I feel bad for these bosses that are stuck in these positions where they can't fire somebody for this. Because it's like,
no, they can't.
You're not.
And teachers, as I said.
And teachers, the same thing. Like, they should not have to indulge people in this behavior. If you want to do this on your own time, fantastic.
We want you to.
Indulge.
They do, but don't expect me to think, I'm going to look at you and go, this is not normal behavior, but it's funny that you think you're this or that. We would love to hear from those that oppose our opinions. Drop us an email, flash@dailyflashtshow.com. We're going to turn things around and tell you something good.
From the biggest pop culture moments to the stories you'll be sending to the group chat, El Flash Latino brings the energy, the attitude, and the saber every single time.
Saludos a todos, yo soy Gisela Bouvier.
Y yo soy Fabián Marcano y le damos la bienvenida a El Flash Latino.
With Fabian and Gisela serving up laughs, hot takes, and pure personality, you never know what they'll say next in whichever language comes out first.
Pero we're in Spanish. Yo soy Isis. There, problem.
Jump into the show that celebrates culture, comedy, and all things Spanglish. El Flash Latino.
Welcome back to Daily Flash. We always want to leave you on a high note, so that's why we want to tell you something good.
You know, in a world where we hear a lot about what's going wrong, we got a story here about a man who just simply showed up and he sang. Check this out.
Through this journey of discovery, finding you and finding me. This for you, Grandma. Traded in the lazy days I used to lay down by the river.
This Levante Harvey is a mail carrier in Austin, in an Austin neighborhood, and he went viral after a doorbell camera caught him singing while dropping off a package. But here's the part that makes this so special. He wasn't performing for the camera. He was trying to lift the spirits of a grandmother on his route who had just lost her husband.
Now, he said he often sings to people all along his route, but just to bring a little light into their day, make things better. And that day, a family member posted the video online, and just like that, the internet did what it could do, and it did its best. The video blew up, people were moved, and actually, supporters started a GoFundMe account.
You see, Levante was driving more than 2 hours each way to work every day. That's 4 hours on the road just to deliver mail. And Smiles, a goal of $10,000 to help Levante was set up, and so far, nearly $13,000 has been raised, and that is something good. And it looks like he got a new car, because there was a picture of that with a BMW and a yellow bow on it.
So yeah, he got the car because $13,000 was raised as well. And I would hope, because he sings really well.
Fantastic.
I would hope that somebody reached out and said, look, how would you like to make even more money than that, you know? Obviously, when I see that, it's like, it makes me feel like, you know, there are people that love their job. I love my job. I hope that you love your job. He loves his job so much that he could say, look, I'm walking all day. Why not make it a little bit better?
Yeah,
So
and
good
I'm
for him.
sharing in my success, and I don't, and this is what makes things in life happy for me and makes the world go round.
We love it.
Yes.
That does it for our show. Thank you for spending time with us.
Be good. For more information, head to our website, dailyflashshow.com.